Welcome back to the second episode of TEYARA SMP, a TNP Limitless 7 series. And, I'm kind of starting at the end, chronologically. I wasn't exactly satisfied with my first intro and some of the footage that I got in the first time around, so we're just going to start at the end of the session, more or less, the episode. Hold on, I'm going to try to sleep in third person here. And you can see that I've made a lot of progress. I've been digging a lot. We are down at y equals negative 23 in my mineshaft, and it's taken me, probably like 6 to 8 hours or something like that, just because A, I'm still using vanilla pickaxes, and B, I'm making this so much bigger than it needs to be. So if we take a look at the dimensions here, and I'm going to have to, build a staircase down to here for the next level, but you can see that our room starts at 8 wide, like the door itself is, the two support pylons or whatever, and then 6 across, and then we have an additional 2 on the side, so we're at like 10 wide, I guess, at this point in time. And then we're 7 deep. I don't know if I've got those dimensions backwards, but that's correct. And then 5 tall. So each of our landings every 10 levels is that big. And then we also have to dig out an 8 wide by I think these are 5 or 6 tall slices for the stairs on each level. So there's just a lot of digging. But let's head on up to y equals 27. So here on y equals 7, we have this nice oreberry bush over there. And that's something that I'm probably going to end up replanting. There are actually a few of those in these caves. I just don't remember where they all are. Those are really nice. We had those in Infinity Evolved, and they're just renewable sources of whatever oreberry is there, and they function as nuggets of the particular ore type. Here, on y equals 27, there was this little thing, and I don't think we're lucky enough to see one right now, but there are goblin traders in this pack, and early on that was a really great way for me to ore double, because they take, 1 iron chunk, typically, for 2 iron ingots, and, the trades are somewhat random. I've gotten a few of those goblin traders down here, but they'll do that for iron, they'll do it for gold, copper, and a couple other things, and usually they'll also take 32 cobblestone for emeralds, which is why I currently have 27 emeralds. And actually, I've already spent 32 of them on a music disc that I can't even play yet, but it's a music disc. Oh, yes, we also have our first diamond, but I haven't made an anvil just yet, so I haven't named it. We have something like 15 more diamonds up at the surface, and that's pretty fantastic. Now, also on y equals 27, I noticed a pair of glowing eyes staring at me, and it was an invisible figure about half my height, maybe just a little bit taller than that. And, I was a little bit sus, and so I attacked it. And it turns out that we've got this dungeon of kobolds down here, and I don't think there are any in here anymore. I'm pretty sure I've cleared this out. And there are a whole bunch of tool stations here that we can potentially take with us. We also have a bunch of looter chests that I need to go through when I have inventory, but right now I don't because I'm something of a pack rat, and I have a whole bunch of construction materials on me. So now let's just pop on up to the surface, and we'll see what we've gotten up to. So now that we're up here, we've gotten into Embers, and you can also see that I've gotten into Immersive Engineering. So let's take a trip back in time and see how we got here. Now, as I said, I do believe I can immediately get into Embers and Immersive Engineering, and we're going to start with the hammers, because based upon the initial books of, well, okay, not Immersive Engineering so much, but if we open up the Ancient Codex from Embers, you can see that the path they kind of intend you to take is you need to get some of this Caminite stuff, and you also need to get some of this Tinker's Hammer stuff, and then you can start working on pipes and some of the other gadgets. And so I have gathered together the materials that we need for both types of hammer. So first, let's start with whichever one catches my eyeball first. The Immersive Engineering Hammer, which requires just 2 iron ingots, a string, and 2 sticks, which we have. So, we have also got an achievement. That's fantastic. And then we need to do the I always lose it, and then I find it again. E is for Embers, that's before Immersive Engineering, so that's right there. And you can see for Embers, the hammer is 4 iron ingots, 1 lead, and 2 treated sticks, or, 2 sticks of any type. So let's also create this, and that should potentially not give us another advancement. Oops. Now, for Immersive Engineering, one of the very first things that we need to do before we can get totally into the mod is we need a coke oven. So if we type that in, we can see that what we need are coke bricks. And I have gone and gathered all of the sandstone and the other stuff that we're going to need to make these. And theoretically, if everything is still the same with the multi-block, it's just going to be a 3x3x3, which means that we need 9 of this recipe in order to make it work. So I am a donut, and I meant to shift left click on the plus, which adds all of the possible recipes there. So we now have all of the stuff that we theoretically need for a coke oven. And one last thing that I want to do is make a... Do I have any wood that I don't care about because I kind of don't want to use the stuff that I'm using for my mines? Okay, I guess I can cut down just a little bit more of the sprucey spruce. And break through this. I freaking love vein miner, thank you. And so now that we have that, we can go ahead and make ourselves a hopper. And actually I want to make 2 hoppers, so let's go ahead and just do that all in one go. And the reason for this is that unless it's changed from Infinity Evolve, and there is a very good chance that it has, we can both input and output from this using hoppers. And that is both the physical components. Oh, and actually I just realized I wanted to make an extra chest because we are going to want something to put into. So we are going to temporarily get rid of the clay. We'll just put that in here because I don't think we need any more right now. And so then the last thing is the 1 chest that we're going to need. Best make it a double chest. Now, we do have iron chests and all of that good upgradable stuff in this pack. It's not actually called iron chests as in the iron chests mod, but it's functionally equivalent, so I'm probably just going to refer to it like that. Let's see, I think what I want to do is put this here. And we're just going to do all this stuff in a very temporary location. And let's go ahead and assemble our coke oven, which we should just be able to do with a 9x9. And once upon a time, I think it might have needed a hollow center. But now I think you just fill everything in. And that's kind of good because otherwise you'd have 1 extra coke brick at the end. And I believe that's everything, so if I hop down here and I take out my Immersive Engineer's hammer, and I just want to get rid of my torches real quick, boom! Yes! Now we have a coke oven. And one last thing, let's go ahead and put this in here. Now, I've made a couple of buckets in advance, because theoretically, yep, good, this confirms that it still very much works like it does in Infinity Evolved. It flows into the bucket section. And now, if I go ahead and get some coal, I kind of don't want to use my charcoal because, actually, yes I do. So we're going to just get some charcoal out of here, and we'll leave 32 in each. No, that's a little overkill. We're going to leave 48 in each. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so we'll take that coal, we'll put it in here, and, wait, is that not how that works? Do I just need to put regular log into it? I think that's how that works. I think I just need to put regular logs into it. Okay, so now that we have a whole heck ton of spruce, we can go ahead and load up this, and I believe I just put the logs inside, right? Yes. Yes, we do. And so what we should start getting out are coke coals, or coke. I can't talk. Coal coke. That's what we get out. We get out coal coke, and we can use that to make, blocks and a couple other things. I think this just ends up being a better fuel. Yes, because it smelts 16 items instead of vanilla Minecraft's 8. So this is better than charcoal at this point in time. And the other thing is, it looks like it's usable in a couple of different recipes. It looks like anything that coal can be used, coal coke also works. But now with this burning up, we should very slowly get some, what is it called? Oh, that was an oversight. Okay, that's an oversight that we can fix because this hasn't actually finished yet. Never mind, I lied. It has finished some. So if we just do this, excuse me, okay. Oh, my inventory's full. Okay, let's just get the charcoal out of there. So if we do that, and then we do that, let's put the dirt back in first. Then we'll grab this out, and we'll put down the chests, and then we'll do the hopper thing. I can't believe I totally forgot that, yes, if you put chests under a solid object, it won't open. There we go. So that should be good now. And I'm wondering if you get the charcoal by doing this, but then you need to burn something else to get the coal coke? Yeah, okay, that's what it is. I need to be putting coal in here. Okay, so that was a bit of a waste of time, but the good thing is I have coal. And we are going to interrupt the charcoal making that's going on here because I can do that a lot faster otherwise. So let's take that out and let's shove this coal in, and I'm wondering if it's going to burn any faster or if it's just going to keep working. Let's also take a look here. Oh, so we do get creosote oil. Let me just look that up just in case. Creosote. Okay, yep, so burning literally anything will create creosote oil. It's just that coal creates more. And a block of coal, of course, creates the most. So that's fine. We'll just go ahead and let that burn for a while, I think. Part of me is like, hey, we should totally be saving the coal because then we can use it like as blocks of coal in a decorative fashion. And the rest of me is like, maybe we don't do that, because right now we need the creosote oil more than anything else, and coal is theoretically something that we can get later. But that said, I do think, no, I'm going to need the spruce for when I'm doing the mineshaft. I am using way more spruce than you would expect for this, because between the fences and just all of the stripped logs that I'm making, it's so much. Oh yeah, one thing while we're waiting for some of that to cook up, we have access to these dark oak barks and spruce barks, and you get these from stripping stuff. You just get the bark. And the cool thing in this pack is if you regret stripping the log, I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know if you can just right-click on it, but you can definitely craft it, the log, with the bark type in your inventory, and just get the original log back. It doesn't make any sense, because IRL, if you debark a tree, that's it, you just have a log. And we have our first bucket of creosote oil, which, if we take a look here, I'm looking specifically for these treated planks. But what else can we make here? We can get some different torches. We can get some exchanger cores. Ah, yes, which I believe is a building tool that lets you swap out blocks really quickly. But we want these, because these are going to help us a lot in IE. And so I think I might need to stock up on a whole bunch more buckets. I do have a bunch of ingots for that. But I'm not far enough into the pack to really justify that, so I'm going to start taking a look into the next steps for both immersive engineering and Embers, and we'll hop back to that, theoretically. Now, as much as I'd love to keep going in Embers right this second, there are only a couple of things that we can do right now. The next thing is obviously going to be making the atmospheric gauge, and if I can just find it, there it is. And that's a fairly trivial recipe. I just need to smelt up some copper. We still have a couple of iron ingots. I've made a whole bunch more buckets for the creosote oil, but we also have a ton of redstone dust, so this will be very easy to make. The thing is, if memory serves, it's not really going to be useful for us until we get all the way down to y equals -63 thereabouts. And that's going to take just a little bit more grinding than I'm willing to do in the rest of this session. So that means that the next thing we're probably going to keep working on is immersive engineering. Now you can see that I've got a bunch. No, I don't, because I put them all in here. Yes, we've got some treated wood planks, and I'm also going to put my Caminite bricks from Embers into here. But we now have treated wood planks, and that means that the next thing that we want to make is the... Let me just put Immersive back on the thing. Engineer. Oh, that's just a lot of fluids. Okay, that's just a lot of fluids. But we have a workbench somewhere around here. And that's too much of a pain in the butt to try and figure out. So I'm just going to go from memory. We need some of these treated sticks. In fact, we need exactly 4 treated sticks. Then we need plank or slabs, you know. And then we need one of these, crafting bench. So if I do that, wait, hold on. Before I do that, oh, interesting. So they extracted the crafting tool bench or tool station, whatever, from Tinker's Construct, and they made it into its own crafting station mod. That's interesting. I'll probably end up making one of those later, but for now, we want this. The engineer's crafting table, which, insofar as I'm aware, functions very similar to the Tinker's thing that I was just talking about, except it has a bit of its own inventory, and it looks like it's also not connecting to adjacent inventories, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And I think we actually need 2 of those, because crafting table... We also... Oh, we can actually make 2 things out of this, but I don't have a light engineering block yet. So I need... probably a second one of these, I would say, unless the workbench has storage in it, in which case I might as well just make this and then make an additional one of these if I absolutely need to. So we need 1 more iron ingot, 2 more slab, and a treated wood fence, which is, of course, 2 more treated sticks and then some treated wood. And I do still have enough iron. That's very good. Like I said, ended up making a whole bunch of buckets so that we could get more creosote oil, and I feel like I might have gone overboard. But one thing that I forgot about and remembered after burning a whole bunch of individual coal is that these blocks of coal are worth 5,000 millibuckets, I think, of creosote oil, as opposed to this, which is only worth 5. And because coal bricks require, or coal blocks require 9 coal, as opposed to, you know, trying to feed it in individually, this ends up having a bit of savings and gives us a little bit more creosote oil. So it's more efficient to burn blocks of coal as opposed to the individual ones. Now let's go ahead and make that treated wood stuff that we still need. Boop. And then if I put this here, we needed one like that, and then we needed a couple like this, and then one of these, and that should be our engineering workbench. Awesome. And the thing is, I've never actually used one of these before. Oh, good, we have recipes. Okay, so we need blueprints to do stuff, and that's fine. Right now, oh, we've got banner patterns. That's really cool. I did notice there are a couple other added banner patterns that we can... Banner patterns? Yes, I did say it correctly. But theoretically, that means that we can do some cool stuff with banners that we usually can't because, you know, vanilla Minecraft stuff. But just clicking through this stuff, I feel like this might be a down the road type thing. Obviously, you know, we can get some plates and molds and stuff, but I think the next thing in immersive engineering, and we can go ahead and check the book, is probably going to be... We're probably thinking power, possibly? Maybe? And our options there are going to be immersive engineering, windmills, which are different from create windmills, of course, and then also water wheels. And the thing is, at that point in time, I almost kind of wonder if we want to check out some of the create add-ons. and I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, that's Steam and Rails. Steam and Rails looks lovely. But we have something that gives us power through Create. Not Steam and Rails, not that. New Age? Maybe New Age. That might be what I'm thinking of. And we actually have some of these magnetite blocks down below. So theoretically, I could potentially start generating electricity using Create rotation instead. And I think that could be fun. I'm on the fence. Let's ponder this real quick. I got to imagine that, you know, the stuff that it's attached to is kind of arbitrary, but aesthetically it looks pretty good. That is pretty much how most generators work, yes. You spin a coil through a magnet and the power gets output. Now, the other thing I kind of wonder is, as the efficiency increases, the amount of SU used by the coils increases. Yes, that makes sense because there is a resistive effect using flux, or due to electromagnetic flux. Which is to say, as the electrons start to flow through the coil, they produce like a resistive field and makes the thing harder to turn. So that makes a lot of sense. The more effective the thing around the coils is, the harder it is going to be to turn. Now, jumping back to the present, you can see that we've got some additional stuff here. Mainly this plain grinder. I don't know if this is its own mod or if this was added by Cube.js, but it adds the plain grinder, which, if we look this up, it is a hand-cranked grinder that is fairly cheap. Smooth stone, 7, 1 iron nugget, and a grindstone. And then you need one of these two handles. Now, because I'm already down at deep slate level in the mine, I opted for the automatic grinder handle, and because I'm super lazy, I ended up spending the extra copper by using an ingot instead of a nugget, and 3 deep slate. And so that just, it's automatic, it's kind of slow, but it lets me walk away, and that is the good. It also means that I don't consume hunger to double my ores. So that's some fantastic early game ore doubling. Now, if we come out here, I want to talk about what I intend for the design of this place, as well as what the future of this series is going to entail. I gotta stop walking off of that cliff, so that's going to be one thing. I need to terraform this area, and I think one thing I want to do is make the river connect all the way through and sort of turn this into some farm area as well. Then, if we look over here, this is going to be the entrance to the mines. I want you to ignore the coke oven for a second, and for those of you who are familiar with Final Fantasy XI, I'm thinking something vaguely Bestock-like. And for those of you who are not familiar with Final Fantasy XI, Bestock is a center of industry kind of in this very arid area. So its buildings are mostly made out of sandstone. I'm probably going to use different materials here, like probably a lot of stones, maybe some of these acacia logs and some dead logs potentially. And we're going to build like this sort of gatehouse slash barracks slash storage area that will potentially connect up into a foundry type place where I'm going to put my immersive engineering stuff and other smelting equipment. And so basically, if you can imagine this with me, on the other side of the gate from here will be, you know, the current mine entrance that we have. And then this area will be hollowed out a little bit, and we'll have our minecart tracks run over here, and then we'll have some of the functional storage, which is the storage store's equivalent, and we'll allow the cart to empty itself into that before getting broken and, you know, sent back into the system kind of deal. Over here, we're going to have, like, I don't know exactly what style I'm going for, but we're going to have like almost sort of a rectangular base come out, possibly even square. And the downstairs area is going to be like the gatehouse and or management for the mine, but then you go up the stairs and then you're in the actual barracks itself, I'm thinking, probably. And then on the right-hand side from the storage area, you can go up into the foundry, and it's all going to look like a bunch of buildings that are sort of connected or fused together. And then, if we come over this way, and I think what I'm going to do is put in, like, mineshafts all along here, just to give the illusion that it's a giant, industrious, productive mine. And over here, we're going to have almost sort of like an archaeological setup, where I want to put in support beams here, and almost scaffolding around this part, just to emphasize that we've got these Embers structures, almost like an ancient civilization existed here before the mine was made. And I really like leaning into that. You might remember that in Vault Hunters that was going to be my original plan as well, or maybe I didn't talk about that. Either way. Now let's talk about the future of this series. In this dimension, I intend to use lower tech solutions to things. That is to say, I'm going to use a combination of Embers, Create, and Immersive Engineering, and not really generating a whole lot of electricity or anything like that, just doing the bare minimum, because I am a technomancer, flung through space and time into this alternate dimension, and I need to get back home. So I am looking for ways that I can make a portal back into my reality, where the rest of my technology exists. And so we're going to have some progression there, and just sort of a lot of cool stuff is going to happen, I hope, if I built it correctly. But last thing before we sign out, let's go ahead and get the rewards. I actually had a whole heck of a lot more of these that I wanted to do on camera, but unfortunately there was a recording issue, and so we've already done that from my perspective. But click, let's get a whole bunch of rewards, and oh sheesh, I got more stuff, dang. I was not expecting to get a free blueprint, but that's kind of fantastic. That means we've got more immersive engineering stuff that we can do right off the bat. We got, ooh, a diamond apple. I'm going to save that for a rainy day. And we also have 4 loot bundles. Sheesh. I'm going to put away some of this stuff so that we can actually do that. And in fact, because it's all immersive engineering related, I'm going to put the coal coke in there and the blueprint. And probably this book, just because I don't need a book right this second. That is supposed to be used for Ars Nouveau spellbooks. Let's open our loot. Right, I don't have magnets. Emerald boots, heavy plated shield. Ooh, that's really cool. Hold on, let me just look at this chest. I'm going to put some stuff away. Let's put that in there. Let's put the awning in there. I don't think I'm ever going to use that, but... Oh, we do have bigger reactors in here. Okay, so that's going to be really cool for the future. When we get there. And a whole bunch of other stuff. Sheesh. Okay. I'm going to put the emerald boots in there. We're going to put the infernal shard in there. The block of diopside. We've got a sorcerer's collar. That's probably something I can put in a curio slot. Gem of Ratlantis. I'm going to put the chemical thrower in there because I don't have any chemicals. Oh, and we've got a ring of jumping. That's neat. And a refinery output. Ooh, with pneumaticraft. I've not actually done anything with pneumaticraft, but that's also going to be stuff when we get back to our home dimension. Oh, and we got an osmium pickaxe. Okay, that will definitely save me a little bit of time, because I've been sticking to, stone pickaxes and iron so far, and I don't mind using a little bit of osmium just to make it a little bit faster, because I think that will make it a little bit... Nope, it's a little bit slower. It's exactly the same as a stone pickaxe. So I'll just swap that in when I'm done with the stone. But it's got a lot more durability, so I won't be making as many trips when I get down to the osmium. So that's good. Anyway, enough chatter. Oh, do I want to do the rest of the quests while I'm here? Yeah, I might as well. Let's get those rewards. We got another blueprint and another loot sack. Let's get that other loot sack open. And, ooh, advanced item collector. That is from... something. Come on, show me the chest. There we go. Oh, it's like a vacuum hopper. Very cool. And I don't know what a source gem does. TEYARA steel helmet. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's fantastic. That's from Botania. That's significantly later on. I'm gonna hold off on wearing this just because it does have a synergistic effect and we don't have the rest of the TEYARA steel stuff. But that's amazing. And we did get one more thing in there, so let's get another source gem. Cool. And I'm definitely going to look forward to finding out what all of this stuff does. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. And as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments below. And with that, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody. In the upper left, if this is the current video, is a video you may enjoy. Otherwise, it's the next video in this series. In the lower left is the series playlist, and on the right is my icon, by which you can subscribe. Okay, thanks again for watching.